Hi there, and welcome back for another episode. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about the secret to getting a pay rise every time. Now, with this secret comes a little bit of time as well. You have to manage the different time, and obviously there'll be different lengths of time for different people to achieve the pay rise that they want, depending on what industry they're in, how high they are up within this industry. So the simple answer to getting more money is do more. Now, before you start throwing into the comments of whatever excuse you may think of, it's not that I mean you have to physically work more hours. That's not what I'm saying. It's not that you have to sell your soul to the company in which to do more. So for me, example, like most of my working career I've been within the printing industry, and when I started off finishing prints, which is basically just cutting out prints from a printer would print it off, and then I'd end up cutting it out or mounting it onto boards or whatever finishing needed to be done. So when I was looking for a pay rise and I was younger, I just assumed because I'd been there longer, I deserve a pay rise, right? Well, I've been here a year now, so why don't I get a pay rise? Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. So now looking at it from a more seasoned view on it, and actually being a manager myself and having people report to me, if you come to me and ask for a pay rise, my response would be that's fantastic, I want to try and get you more, but what have you done more so I can then go ask for said pay rise? If you have, so like I used to report to my line manager and the person looking after me, and then once a year we'd sit down and we go, look, we've got this much money, who deserves a pay rise? Just because you've been there a set amount of time doesn't mean that you're entitled to more money. So you've accepted a contract to do a said job for a said amount. So now if you're not doing more than that job, looking at it from a manager's point of view and a company's point of view, why should you get more money? So here's a way to look at it, and try and not get emotional about it, because it's really quite simple. It's difficult to implement at the very beginning. So when I was first dealing with print finishing and everything, and then we started to look at, I wanted more money. So I would go and then learn, okay then, so my supervisor, what do they do? I would ask them questions. They used to look after the schedule and stock. So okay, then can I start learning on how to do the stock? So then you go and you learn how to do the stock, and then once you've got the stock in hand, you can say to them, okay, then I'll look after the stock for you. It's going to take no more hours, and they will allot you time during the day to do this, because obviously it's less for them to do. So with that in mind, then I went, okay, then can I now learn the schedule? Okay, so how do we book jobs in? How do we process the job through the department? How do you pick who does what job? So then once you understand how that works, when that person is then on holiday, or they're not very well, then the person above them will go, I know this person can do it. So then you just take on that responsibility for that time. But bearing in mind, you can keep notes of this just like a company does. So then when it does come to this time for you to say, you know what, I've been doing more, I deserve more, I'm worth more, and this is why. Me as a line manager, if someone was to come to me with that, I'd go, you know what, that's fair enough. We are discussing pay rises in the next couple of days. I will let you know what comes of it, but your name will definitely be in there. Because I guarantee not everybody will be doing this. And if they are, it's a very progressive company. I mean, it's a department that really just wants people to grow and has no limits, which is great. And if you do work in that environment, fantastic. And likewise, if you get a pay rise every year, it doesn't really matter about this, but it's beneficial for you as well, because you will learn more skills. So if they then turn around to you and say, we aren't going to pay you anymore, it doesn't mean you stop doing what you're doing. You can carry on, keep doing it. Make yourself a part of that team that is indispensable. Now, I know this could drag on. You know, this could be a 2, 3, 4, 5, even up to months, even up to a year. But then if you look at it, what skills I'm learning. So if this company that you're working for doesn't appreciate and value what you bring, you don't have to stay there. I know that's easy enough said because, you know, what do I know? I don't know what kind of bills you have and everything. I have bills myself, so I understand you have to put it into perspective on when you move job and how much you move for and what skills and what experience you have. But if you have all these things extra, you can put them on a CV. You can take them to another company. You can go and talk to people and they will ask you questions about it and you will know what you're talking about because you've done it. So you may inadvertently take what could have been £1,000 a year pay rise that you probably would have been happy with and turn it into a £5,000 a year pay rise just by changing jobs. So don't look at it as oh, I'm doing more so I should be paid more right now. You need to look at it in long term. Look at how it's going to benefit you, but also look at it how it's going to benefit the company, because that's your ammunition. This is what you need to tell them when you approach them. So you need to approach them with the solution and with a good argument. So let's take my example, for instance. When a supervisor position came available, I didn't get it because, well, I just applied for it. I got it because they knew I could do it. I was already doing it. So if you're already doing it and you don't get the position, you have ammunition then to say, well, why didn't I get this position? Oh, because we decided to go with someone externally. Okay, that's fine. So you then know progression will be either very slow or non-existent in this company. So should I actually stay in this company? It's all your decision at the end of the day. No one can force you to keep working anywhere. You just have to make the decision enough for you. So basically in a small form, to earn more, you need to do more in the time that you are there. And if you're already, and if you go to your line manager or your supervisor and say, I want to learn more, I want to do more, and they say, okay, obviously we're not giving you enough to do, well, give me more then. There will be a point where they can't give you physically anymore, and they have to just start training you, or you will move on. You don't have to stay anywhere. It's all a choice. So just try and bear that in mind. But the quickest and guaranteed way of getting more money, either whether it's from your current employer or a new employer, is to do more in the time that you have. Learn more. Learn about the business. Learn about everything that you can physically be told and learn it. And then ask questions. Inquire about it. Speak to different people. It's not even restricted to your department. If you're in a business that's big enough and you have multiple separate different departments, you can learn about estimating, you can learn about logistics, you can learn about sales, you can learn about account management, you can learn, if it's a design agency, you can learn design programs. All these facilities are within reach and they will train you because you're willing to do it for less. But you're playing the long game. You're not on about doing it for less forever. You're on about doing it for less for now. So just bear that in mind. I hope this has helped you. And if you do find it helpful, can you please, hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. I am a growing channel. And if you do want to hear more of these, I'd love for you to subscribe and keep in touch. And please comment below, actually, if you've got any kind of questions or anything, I'd love to answer them. Or if you've got any questions that you'd like to see a little bit more detail on and I can do a video on, I'd love to hear those too. All right, thank you very much and I'll catch you soon.